Hi, thank you for watching Digging to China. I'm Dong Sean. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. In early August, the U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan. It was the first time a House Speaker visited the island in the last quarter century. Despite Beijing's ramping up political and military pressure on Taipei, Pelosi's visit was immediately followed by a delegation of U.S. legislators led by Massachusetts Senator Ed Markey. Taiwan government rejected Beijing's sovereignty claims, saying only the island's people can decide their future. Just 2 weeks after Pelosi's visit, the governor of the U.S. state of Indiana came to meet Taiwan's president during a 4-day visit. When Governor Eric Holcomb met President Tsai Ing-wen on the first day of the trip, Mr. Holcomb aimed at bolstering economic exchanges, particularly in the key semiconductor industry. In fact, during a meeting at her office in Taipei, Tsai said the U.S. and Taiwan must stand together as democratic allies after the island had been confronted by military threats from China. Keenly aware of Taiwan's massive share of the global chip manufacturing market, President Tsai sees Taiwan's chip dominance as a vital role for the island's diplomacy as threats from China mount. For context, Taiwan is home to 92% of global manufacturing for the world's most advanced semiconductors. Most of the world, including both China and the US, is dependent on Taiwan for the island's semiconductor capacity. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation alone accounts for more than half of the global market for made-to-order chips. In her recent visit to Taiwan, Speaker Pelosi met with TSMC Chairman Mark Liu to discuss plans for the company to build more factories on U.S. soil. The U.S. currently is TSMC's largest market. Tsai even minted semiconductors made in Taiwan as democracy chips and suggested democratic allies of Taiwan to step in and cooperate with the nation as it faces increasingly hostile and militant intimidations from Beijing. Tsai told Holcomb, "Economic security is an important pillar of national and regional security. Taiwan is willing and able to strengthen cooperation with democratic partners in building sustainable supply chains for democracy chips." Holcomb also met representatives of Taiwan's semiconductor companies on his visit in order to expand links between his state and Taiwan. U.S. officials' visits resulted in China's aggressively curbing trade with Taiwan by limiting imports of fish and fruit, but semiconductors were conspicuously spared from the package, indicative to China's reliance on Taiwanese chips manufacturing. China has also been unhappy with the passing of the U.S. landmark CHIPS Act, considering how the Biden administration has singled it out as an urgent priority in U.S. competition with Beijing. The Chinese Foreign Ministry has slammed the CHIPS Act, claiming that it had strong geopolitical overtones and is yet another example of American economic coercion. According to Global Times, Wang Wenbin, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson, also stated that the U.S. CHIPS Act contains provisions that will disrupt normal Chinese-U.S. scientific and technological cooperation. According to Bloomberg, the chairman of the China Semiconductor Industry Association told delegates at an industry conference that the U.S. legislation contains elements that violate fair market principles and that it is intended to give China's rivals a helping hand. Previously, China's Commerce Ministry had complained that the CHIPS Act would distort the global semiconductor supply chain and disrupt international trade, and stated that China was prepared to take forceful measures to safeguard its legitimate rights. Please be noted, China has itself already invested $80 billion of a planned $150 billion in government subsidies aimed at building up its semiconductor industry by 2030. In some ways, Beijing is right, and America is trying to hinder the development of China's high-tech industries, especially in semiconductors. In mid-August, the US banned the export of 4 technologies linked to semiconductor manufacturing, stating that withholding these was vital to national security. This ban includes the semiconductor material gallium oxide and the diamond electronic computer-aided design software and the pressure-gain combustion technology. The US has also made efforts to stop the Netherlands-based ASML, one of the key producers of semiconductor manufacturing equipment, from exporting its products to China. Washington has also considered the restrictions on shipments of US-made chip-making equipment that can be used to produce memory technologies with more than 128 layers. Meanwhile, the US and Taiwan have agreed to start formal trade negotiations designed to support Taiwan and bolster the resilience of supply chains. No doubt, this move will further sour relations with Beijing. New developments of the rising US-China tension. Last weekend, 2 US warships sailed through the Taiwan Strait, US and Taiwan defense officials said Sunday. This is the first such activity publicized since US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan earlier in August. The voyage demonstrates the United States' commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific, the US Navy's 7th Fleet said. The United States military flies, sails, and operates anywhere international law allows. The US Navy said the USS Antietam and the USS Chancellorsville are conducting a routine transit, with the crews passing through a corridor in the strait that is beyond the territorial sea of any coastal state. Senior Colonel Shi Yi is the spokesperson for the People's Liberation Army's Eastern Theater Command. He said that China monitored the movement of the US ships, and the Chinese troops should remain alert and be ready to defeat any provocation at any time. As it builds its own blue water navy, China has designs on a network of global bases and on turning the South China Sea and the entire Western Pacific into a region of Chinese dominance. Sooner or later, China is likely to declare the Taiwan Strait off limits without its permission, and the US urgently needs a bigger navy to counter that threat. Strength is the only assurance for peace. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. Just click the subscribe button right here. I'll see you again shortly. Until then, be well.